Hey guys, welcome to another Skin Jobs stencil tutorial. We're going to be doing a multi-layered skull stencil. You can spray this many different ways. You can do a single color, multicolor. It's really going to be up to how you utilize this multi-skull stencil set. What I'm spraying right now is the black stencil. I'm spraying Wicked Black mixed 1-to-1, one part paint, one part reducer. I'm spraying at about 30 psi. It might even be 20-25 because I really don't want a lot of overspray going down on this particular piece. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just filling in the black. And it doesn't have to be heavy. I've only gone over it a couple times to get the texture and the color that I want, which is fine. But this is the entire black outline for the entire multiple skull set. I think in total there are 3 skulls inside of the mouth of a larger skull. And what I'm doing right now is this is the second stencil, which separates the outer skull. And what I'm spraying is a candy blue, auto air candy blue. I'm doing this because, of course, I want the outer skull to be a different color from the other 3 skulls that are inside its mouth. So I want I want this outer skull to be a candy blue so that I can manipulate the color. You can see I'm drawing it here right now. Basically, once I have this candy blue down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some black and some white. There she is. To do some highlights and to do some shadows so that I can get this skull to have some depth and some texture. So I'm still using the same stencil to block off so I don't spray outside of my area. And I'm laying some white highlights, and now I'm laying some black for some shadows before I actually fill in the blue. Now, again, like I said, there are many ways you can use this stencil. I could have used chrome on top of this, candy blue to really make it pop. I could have used, solid colors. There's just so many different methods and so many different ways that you can use these stencils. Now, what I'm doing right now is I'm taking another part of the stencil so that I can actually drop a shadow underneath the blue skull. Because of these other skulls, you see I'm highlighting, I'm showing you where I laid the black shadow. This makes the outer skull look like it's actually laying on top of, or it sets the 3 skulls that's in its mouth, it sets them back and gives you a shadow so that it looks like the outer skull is actually over top of the 3 skulls that are in its mouth. Now, this part of the stencil is the outline of the 3 skulls that are inside the mouth. And what I'm doing is I'm filling in the inside of the mouths and in between the jawbones in black so that I can outline the bottom portion of these 3 skulls. Because I've already did the black outline as far as the eye sockets and the nose and all of the little details, but I separated the stencils for this particular part where I'm filling in the mouth of the 3 inner skulls. Now this is the outline, again, of those 3 skulls because I want them to be a different color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little shadowing. I'm going to do a little bit of highlighting, and then I'm going to spray these 3 skulls in white. I'm not going to spray them heavy because I want my top color to come through the white a little bit to darken it and to give it a little bit more texture. So what you're seeing me do right now is I'm actually adding some shadows underneath the jawbones and near the eye sockets and around corners to sink in these skulls. Here's the white, and I'm just going softly. I'm fogging it in. I'm doing a little heavier around the edges and where I want more white to be pronounced. So once I lay my top color, it'll darken the fogging area, but it'll help also enhance the white in the heavier areas that I sprayed. So this is what I have so far. You see there's separation in colors, two different color skulls. And then that's great for, just about 10 minutes of work. But you get really, really, really good detail. These are very detailed stencils. And you're going to be getting, if I'm correct, there's the outline for the blue. There's the outline for the white. There's the negative for the white skulls. And then there is the black stencil, which once you lay that first, you pretty much lay all of the filler for the inside of the skulls. And laying the others on top, it's pretty easy to line them up. There's not even a need for you to do any particular markings on the stencils to line them up. You can eyeball these very, very easily, which is what I did. Usually I would make a marker for my north and south and east and west onto whatever it is I'm working so that I can line my stencils up that way. But the way these were cut, they're very, very easy to line up. So what I just did now, I used a candy green, a Spastex candy green, and I'm using, again, just my basic Wicked white, detailed white, and that's mixed 1-to-1. I'm still spraying at about 25 psi. And I'm switching up the colors here because I have the blue skulls on the outside, I have the white skulls, and I'm adding this candy green so that I can just have a nice mixture of colors. It doesn't work for everybody, but this is basically just a tutorial, so I'm doing this particular shell piece in all of the multiple colors. And I'm basically doing my flames from underneath and then off of the skulls. I'm not doing too many licks of my flames through my skulls because, for one, I have that white in the center, which is almost transparent, and I didn't want a lot of the flames to look like they were actually burning on top of the skulls rather than behind and off of the side of the skull. So, you have to learn how to direct the way you want your skulls to move and where you want them to come from. And in this particular piece, that's exactly what I wanted to do. I just wanted them to look like the flames were behind. This particular skull is on top of or coming through the flames instead of the flames engulfing. So there's a nice separation. So I'm also going to, because this is a skull piece, I'm going to add ghost skulls into the white flames. It's basically, you just fill them in a bit, and I'm placing them all around the main skull character. Doesn't take a lot, just a little bit of white to ghost them in. You pick your spots. I always look for openings in my flame where I can place my skull so that I don't overspray too much white. And at this point, this particular piece is pretty much done. I'm just going to fill in my skull now, just to make sure that whatever I didn't get with the flame, I'm filling in with a fog of white so that once I do the backing, which is what I'm doing now in black, it pretty much will not wash out my main character. So it's pretty much done. I've sprayed 4 coats of black on this. I just cut that part from the video. I don't want you guys to sit around and watch me spraying 4 coats of black, heat gunning it to death, trying to get these coats on. So now I'm just going to, peel back this overspray and let you take a look at how this multi-layer, multi-color skull set can work for you. And again, like I said, there's so many different color combinations you can do with this thing. So many different ways you can approach it. This is a very, very simple step process that I walk through. So I have the blue skull on the outside, and it's basically opening its mouth to reveal other skulls that it has eaten, which is fantastic. It's a great, great stencil set. I went a little hard on the black only because I knew I wasn't going to do a lot of detailing. If I go softer on the black, then I'm going to do more blending and toning. But it's a great looking piece. So again, it's made for RCs. It's all laser cut stencils, so they're cut very, very well. The size on this is about 4.5 inches wide by 6 inches. So if you're looking for them, find us on Facebook. You can also buy them on my eBay store. If you have any questions, just send me a message and we can talk. Thanks so much for watching.